Those woods are full of these entities. There's a hexahedron cluster right there. It's broad daylight. It's in late afternoon, but it's still daylight. And this thing is powering up for tonight. Tonight that'll be a large cluster in the sky. Even now it's a large cluster. It's just about at my maximum range of 80x zoom, and there's actually two clusters there now forming. These entities are swarming and they form clusters right here in those woods, and then they go up to the sky and charge up the rest of them that are flying around in our atmosphere. And they're not the only two clusters. These woods are full of them. Okay, so check it out. One's hiding behind the other. Before I could see two, but now one of them is like expanded itself, so I can't see the other one. I gotta back off. It's right on top of that tree. There's two of them right there. Okay, so I'm at 50x. I have to back off because every time I come close, one of them expands and I can't see the other one. But there's two of them right next to each other. What they're doing now is accelerating particles. They're passing them back and forth from one to the other, and then they shoot them off, charged up, so that they can fly tonight all around here in the atmosphere. I'm at 80x now. There's two of them now. You can see they have they emit the electromagnetic energy pulses, and that's what makes the camera blur. You can even see in the air. There's so many of them that it's like looking through a dirty glass or a veil. There's so many in the air, and we're breathing those things in. They can be in microparticles. They have infinitely small sizes. They can be smaller and smaller and smaller to the point where you can't even see them with an electron microscope, subatomic even, and even smaller than that. And they can also be as large as they want to be when they swarm and join together in large clusters like that. Those are not even large right now, but they will be tonight. Even these are 10 feet across, between 5 and 10 feet across. I can't tell because the thing is so glaring. I can't see anything else, and that's what it does. It glares so bad that you can't see anything else. Look how bright that is. There is no light bulb or anything that could be that bright, not even a reflector. If somebody had a reflector over there, it wouldn't be that bright. That's a large cluster already. I gotta back off just to gauge the size of it. Okay, there's the size of it. Now look how far that is away. That's a few kilometers from me. Okay, and that's a big tree. Let's see how big that tree is. Yeah, that's about a 30-40 foot tree, maybe taller. And that thing is taking up a large part of the top. Whole portion of the top. Look how bright that thing is. There is no light bulb that's that bright, and there is no reflector that would be reaching all the way here from kilometers away. And there's two of them right next to each other, and they're acting like particle accelerators. They're accelerating all the other clusters back and forth till they charge all the particles up, and you can see all the particles in the air. See, look, it knows what I'm talking about. It hears me and it reads my mind, because the particles are everywhere and they're all over me. So everything I say and do transmits all the way down there, because that's the active cluster. The two of them are powering up all the rest of the particles in this area to start flying around. Look at that. Look at that. Now you tell me that's Venus right on top of a tree. I'll tell you you're a nut. Look at that. Same thing that I shoot early in the morning, late at night, all the time. These are living entities and they're right here on Earth. And there's nobody that's going to tell me different. And they're not from Earth. They're alien, extraterrestrial. And they're interdimensional as well. They don't all exist in our dimension. They can come in and out of our dimension anytime they want and just like as they please. Nothing stops them. And that is not Venus. Whoever is the crazy nut that keeps saying this is Venus is out of his mind. I mean, this is broad daylight in the afternoon. I don't even know what time it is. I'm going to check my watch. It's 6 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. 2 minutes after 6 in the afternoon. And this is Toronto, Canada. Okay, that's how far it is away from me. Okay, now it's not where the golf course is. I don't know if that still belongs to the golf course. It just looks like a tree in the middle of some sort of park. I don't know what's over there. I'm at 80x. You can see all the particles just zooming past, super fast. And our air is filled with them. Our atmosphere is filled with them. They're on everything on the ground, including people, animals, birds, trees, buildings, you name it. Even in the water, fish aren't safe. No marine or aquatic life is safe from them. These things are everywhere. And we don't even know what they are or what they intend to do. They're intelligent, that's for sure. They have a high degree of intelligence, and they can move in and out of our dimension whenever they want. I mean, I really need to look into this seriously and not, say it's Venus or any stupid thing like that. That's nonsense. Venus can't be found on top of trees. I mean, look at the size of that cluster. It's about 10 feet across. That's a large tree. That's like a... Let me see the size again of that tree. That's a large tree. Look at it. It's about 40 feet high, maybe more. And it's a huge tree. And that's 2 clusters on it. And there are others in the woods, same area, a whole bunch of them. They're just not as bright because they haven't activated yet, but they will. By tonight they'll all be active and going right up into the atmosphere and patrolling this entire area, because that's what they do. And they'll be charging up all the other particles all night. And every particle is a particle cluster. There is no single particle. They're all clusters. And they can be infinitely small in size, the clusters. They can be so small that they're subatomic. Even the subatomic particles in an atom are too big for what these things can be. They can be so small. An atom would be a universe for some of them. And that's how small they can be. And when they lock up all together like this in clusters, they could be any size, larger than the Earth. It all depends how many of them join in. See, every time I take a shot, that upsets it because I have a laser finder on this thing for distance. And they don't like the laser. Something about lasers. Maybe they were attacked by lasers. I don't know, but they don't like lasers. You gotta back off to see more clearly. Yeah, it's expanded into a hexahedron. And it's very large. Look how large that thing is. It's at least 10 feet across. I mean, that's far away, and I can see it with the naked eye. It's 10 feet for sure. By tonight, it'll be a couple of 100 feet, because more of these entities. Look at how many of them are just flying in the air. And there's two clusters right there. One is larger than the other. And that's a particle accelerator. That's what those two are. They're components of a particle accelerator, and they accelerate all the other particles that you see streaming by. They charge them up. It's all done through electromagnetism. They're using electromagnetic waves and currents to charge up all the particles. You can clearly see them in the air. And what it does, it blurs the camera. There's nothing wrong with this camera, but so many of them in the air seems like it's a blur, and there's nothing wrong with the camera. It's them. Look how many of them there are. They're all over the place. There's so many of them that everything is blurred. Even normal vision without the camera. You can't even see far anymore because there's so many of them in the air. Look at this, how bright it's getting. Okay? Now, you tell me that's Venus on top of a tree. You gotta be nuts to say that. Look at the size of it. It's growing. More and more particles are joining in. If it combines with the other cluster, it'll be like 20 feet in diameter. It's getting larger and larger, and eventually it will leave that tree and go up in the air. And so will a lot of other ones that are there in the area. When they get powered up enough and charged up enough, they'll leave and go up in the atmosphere and start charging up the particles in the atmosphere. Look at how many particles are just streaming by. You gotta get just the right focal length to see them there. Now look at how many of them. That's why people are saying, I got a shitty camera. The camera is perfect. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's not a shitty camera. It's very expensive. But there's so many of these things in the air, no camera would work over here. And this is Toronto for you. This is what we're breathing in. Look at all those particles. This is daytime. Okay? I'm not playing around with the camera, and I can't doctor up the microchip in this camera, the memory card. I wouldn't even know how. This is straightforward shooting an automatic. Okay, look at all those particles just streaming. Look at them. And this thing is pissed off because it knows I'm filming it. It's intelligent. It knows it's being filmed and it doesn't like it. Check out all those particles just streaming past. All of Earth is like this. The entire atmosphere of Earth and the whole planet, it's like this. These things are moving so fast. That's why they're invisible. They're moving faster than you can see them with your eye. And that's why I'm using the camera to show them. There, you have to just have the right focal distance, the focal length. Have to just be at the proper distance to be able to see them. And as soon as they realize you can see them, they blur the camera by swarming more over here where I am in front of the lens. So there's two hexahedron clusters right there, back to back. I'm going to back off just to see if I can see the both of them, because now they're so bright. Okay, look how far I am from it, and you can see it without even any zoom. I'm at 15x, 18, 20. This is maximum zoom for this camera before going into intelligence zoom. This is the maximum normal zoom. Okay, so there's the two clusters. I'm at 31 zoom, 31x. Okay, you can clearly see that there's two clusters. They're on top of the tree. And the big one is about 10 feet across because that's a huge tree.